It's me, Ambrose, back in with another video. Today is the day I will be making my video on the Kirsche drama, and this time, hopefully, it will not be lazy garbage. But I thought that, for those who don't know, Kirsche, I've made a slide and gathered some sources to begin on today's video. I was gonna plan to read the Vice article that was written against Kirsche, but that doesn't exist anymore. But I have found something interesting. So let's get into this. First of all, according to one source, Kirsche Verstali, also referred to as Foxu or Coconut, is an American VTuber who streams engaging in multitude of topics, some of which have political nature to them, and streams weekly, tangent Fridays. And primarily, she streams on the platform Twitch and posts clips to her YouTube. She also has her own Twitter and hosts a Discord server, which is currently closed, probably because of attacks from the outside, probably. She did say in one stream with Jim, I don't know much about Jim, but she did, I think, say that the Discord would soon be reopened. That's what I remembered when I watched the stream. According to same sources, Kirsche had her transition from PNG YouTuber to then tuber to then GIF. She would later design her own 3D character model and was brought to life by Irene Anna. So that is the first introduction to Kirsche. If there's anyone here who doesn't know Kirsche, this is just alleged, so I'm not claiming this is true, but it said allegedly her political takes from a nationalist and conservative perspective. Again, I don't really know if this is true, guys. It's just according to the wiki. I'm just saying typing what the wiki is, what the wiki is saying. So now that I got that out of the way, I'd like to take a look at this. While I couldn't find the original Vice article because Vice took their articles down, I have found this. Vice has taken down the article exposing Kirsche's white supremacy and Anna's harassment due to the Kirsche threatening a lawsuit. Things are kind of getting more dire as the Nazi VTuber this is already biased as fuck. Nazi VTuber is ramping up harassment and threatening any news sites that bring attention to her bigotry. So I'd love to see if they give any examples of this bigotry. I'd love to see it. Heads up, due to Kirsche's baseless threats to sue Anna and Vice, the latter pulled her story. I'm pretty sure she does have a right if people are going to make random accusations in a smear article that has no basis and no evidence other than, I don't know, taking some clips out of context. Again, I only have watched one full stream of Kirsche, and that was on with Jim. There was nothing that she did or sound, and I was told that YouTube clips show that Kirsche is a white supremacist. Where? I personally have not seen that heard that on a stream, so I could be deaf. I don't know, guys. My ears could be working wrong. What kind of journalist are you? Is this your idea of press freedom? I love respect for Vice for standing with Anna, but this is bullshit. What do you mean bullshit? What's bullshit is you going after a creator because you disagree with them. I want to continue to read this. This beautiful well put together article. Even more so when Kirsche's fans are starting to bring up Anna Valen's old tweets to get more people to discredit her articles and harassment. I love that the left keeps projecting when they are the ones a lot of the time that bring up the old tweets of people. And I mean, your article is already discredited if you're going to say outlandish stuff. So you're going to off the bat assume that she's a Nazi. Well, Nazi is now a buzzword, so why should I believe you that she's a Nazi when I've seen no evidence? She's just a VTuber. You expect me to believe she's a reincarnation of fucking Hitler? It sucks because people in the VTuber community are still dismissing the article and the journalist despite agreeing with the overall message or are defending the actions of bigots. All this did was just name like calling. Doesn't even do shit. You made this entire sentence and not providing any evidence. I'll never understand how some companies think that silence is apolitical. It speaks volumes when you do nothing in the face of ridiculous bigot behavior. At best, it comes off as pure apathy, and at worst, it comes off as support. And considering they're her sponsor, I'm definitely willing to consider the latter as a possibility. Okay, thank you, Randy Butternupper, for your totally based opinions. What a bunch of cowards. All bark, no bite. Can't say I expected much better from Vice. You're the coward if you have to, make a smear campaign, because you can't do anything interesting. If you're going to make a campaign or a smear article that is basically false, that has no evidence, do you actually have anything to do with your career? Because this isn't something that you should do. You shouldn't be lying, okay? If you are pathetic if you try to smear someone because they disagree with you and you want to take them out of context, because I doubt that Anna Valens actually is ignorant. How could she be ignorant? She's a journalist, first of all. Either that or she heard what other people say and ran on with it. Well, she's the one that started it, I'm pretty sure. Disappointing, but not surprisingly, honestly. I do hope at the very least GamerSupps has been monitoring their behavior and decides to terminate their contract with her. Granted, the fact that Kirsche herself advertises Alex Jones of VTubers should have been the first red flag. Oh my gosh, guys, Alex Jones, the worst person ever. He's basically he's Mussolini, guys. And that's just horrible. So, being named Alex Jones means that you're a heinous person, guys. Which, by the way, I don't remember Alex Jones doing anything of the authoritarian nature. So I would love to have some information disclosure on that. Considering they still have her stuff up and haven't said jack or shit about anything anyone they work with has done, even about their own co-owner Cinder trying to sabotage indie VTubers behind the scenes, I don't think GamerSupps cares. The only person involved in the company to say anything is Shy Lily, because the Cinder stuff affected her directly. All of Cinder's merch is also still available, by the way. The one person they could have axed because of her actions directly affecting the company as a worker. Okay, what am I hearing? I'm hearing just complaint after complaint. We're not hearing any evidence of the stuff that Kirsche supposedly said was racist. How are we supposed to know when you guys are just complaining? Who decided to wake up in the morning 11 hours ago and write this pathetic piece of paper? Running a smear campaign is extremely wrong, first of all. If you have no evidence that she's a Nazi or a white supremacist or any of that. However, you're going to claim that Kirsche is a Nazi despite having no evidence whatsoever. We're gonna watch this video from a VTuber, Niara VT. Kirsche Verstali is worse than you think. Okay, let's see what you got. Let's see you debunk her supporters. At this point, I'm gonna support her because I don't think, again, she's actually done anything of what she's being accused of. And if that seems ridiculous to you guys, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I don't support falsehood, guys. And I could be a hypocrite, so I can engage in falsehood sometimes too. A lot of people can. A lot of people do. But let's just watch this.
Pronoun people, you have pronouns too, you dumbass.
Okay, so what? She uses she, her pronouns, and that somehow proves her. I'm pretty sure she's talking about the people who use fucking Zer and they, them. Okay, so, what the hell?
Other than pig related, it happened a day after a post I made on pronoun people. You have pronouns too, you I guess we gotta somewhat start from the beginning. Let's get right into the news. We're talking about gamer steps today. We got a Vice article, and I know what
Vice article.
Kirsche fans are going to say. This is invalid because of the person posting it. I know they're going to say the same things about me. You know, they're going to call me a groomer because of a thumbnail. They're going to push the idea that, oh, I said that trans people will never leave kids alone, so like, why can't I call you a groomer? It's because
what the fuck is she?
because like the context around it matters. Like this is a play on the.
Okay, so context for you matters. Okay, so there needs to be context when it comes to you, but why can't there be context when it comes to Kirsche's tweets?
Children alone, as they say themselves.
This is what people are going to use in order to invalidate all the takes that I'm saying. In this article here, they're using things about Anna Valence. I don't know a lot about her. We are mutuals on Twitter, but like I don't see everything. This white supremacy rhetoric that Kirsche is pushing is just like something that we both agree on, and if we have disagreements on other things, that is not going to change the fact that this is a good article about all the things.
A good article? I have not read the article, guys. So
everything, this white supremacy rhetoric that Kirsche is pushing is just like something that we.
Her fans is a bona fide Nazi, and you think this is a good article? Right off the bat, calling someone a Nazi, and you think this is a good article. Again, guys, unfortunately, Vice took the article down, so I can't read it. But this person thinks it's a good article. For anyone who's read it, personally, was it a good article, guys? Can anyone, like, at least memorize any text that was written on the article and comment to me what that said, and let's see if that was good article writing, because I would love to know what good writing means to you.
We both agree on, and if we have disagreements on other things, that is not going to change the fact that this is a good article about all the things. One of the
would change some facts. Excellent. Okay, Kirsche has explicitly started her belief in the white supremacist great replacement theory. Okay, right at the bath.
People who have been.
Okay, hostile demographic takeover. Okay, if she said hostile, I don't know if she said hostile demographic takeover, but if she did, how the hell is that the same thing of as like the great replacement theory? Again, let me search up the great replacement theory. The great replacement, also known as replacement theory or great replacement theory, is a debunked white nationalist far-right conspiracy theory espoused by French author Renard Camus. The original theory states that with the complicity or cooperation of replacist elitists, the ethnic French and white European population at large are being demographically and culturally replaced by non-white peoples, especially from Muslim-majority countries, through mass migration, demographic growth, and a drop in the birth rate of white Europeans. Well, I mean, aren't we having an influx of Muslimification on in Europe? Again, I'm not gonna agree. Again, I'm not agreeing with this theory, guys. I'm just saying that it seems that we do have Islamification of Europe, and I don't know. Again, I don't know much about this, but that's apparently what what Kirsche is being accused of, is that.
Been posting about Kirsche is
while ranting about the construction of mosques in England. Well, personally, okay, you could do if you come to the country legally and you respect the culture of England, okay, sure. Have your mosques there. But for example, in places like Italy, where the official country is, the official religion is Catholic, and it's not just the religion part. It's in fact our whole culture. The Catholicism is not just Italy's religion or faith. It's the whole culture of Italy, I believe, and I don't think we should. Personally, I don't think there should be minimal amount of mosques in Italy. That might seem Islamophobic, but you have to understand Italy has a tradition and we have a culture. I don't think that Muslim culture should override or take over our Italian heritage. Of course, you can be Muslim and live in Italy. You can practice your Muslim faith. I'm not saying that you can't practice your Muslim faith, because of course you can. It's freedom of religion, but you shouldn't be like having Islamification of Italy in terms of taking over the entire culture, because I think that's wrong. I think that's bad for the Italian culture, and for Europe in general. If there's going to be a mass Islamification, because we know Islam, we know their beliefs. Okay, the people will say Islam is a peaceful religion, but that can be like far from the truth. It's not a peaceful religion. If you look in their teachings, Muhammad was a murderer. I'm sorry, he was. Okay? Why would I want my country to have that type of influence from a caravan person who, first of all, married a 9-year-old? The Quran says that, by the way. Their holy book says that. And from a theological perspective, for me, it just contradicts Judaism and Christianity. Again, Judaism, I don't believe is true. I believe Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism. Call me anti-Semitic, I don't care. But there's just, I think, so many problems with Islam that I don't see why Italy needs that, or like Europe in general. I do believe that there are I do believe that there is such thing as superior cultures. There's cultures that I think are more superior than others. In my mind, European culture is better than Muslim culture. I'm just gonna say it. Catholic culture, Christian culture, better than Muslim culture. Okay, you could call me Islamophobic. I don't care. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to. That doesn't mean that you can't have your culture. You can. It's just a matter of what culture I think would benefit society most. I know this video isn't about Islam, guys, so I'm sorry. Sorry if I'm just rambling here.
There are a lot of layers to it. There are a lot of people involved. It's going to...
Yeah, there's a lot of layers involved to it, yet you're going to side with Vice, right? Is that what you're doing?
Get a little bit messy, and I'm trying to structure that as good as I can. A quick PSA. We are going to talk about gamer subs and their affiliation with Kirsche, who is a white supremacist, transphobic creator.
Oh my gosh, already with the names. White supremacist, transphobic of what? Exactly. How is she white supremacist? I have not seen her call out black people or say that they're evil. I have not heard that from her, so I'm very interested in what evidence you're gonna bring that she's a transphobic, white nationalist, supremacist bigot.
And has a lot of like misogynistic takes as well.
Misogynistic takes. Misogynistic takes. Exactly. I would love to know.
Saying that male artists just have a better work ethic than female artists, which is...
How is that misogynistic? I mean, if men are biologically stronger and better at construction because we have different roles, male and female. Believe it or not, guys, we are not equal in the biological sense. We're equal in that we're made in the image of God, I believe, but men and women are like not equal in the sense of biology. So I would imagine that we would have an easier time painting, structuring our art physique, but
it's basically just misogyny. But I do know.
Can you explain why it's misogyny? Instead of just saying it's misogyny.
Want people to go after creators who are partnered with gamer subs. Instead, I want to just like educate and hold gamer subs accountable, because...
Hold gamer subs accountable for what? Why do you care that a website for gamers for drinks is partnering with someone who you disagree with? Why the fuck do you care? Okay? But, okay, because she's a Nazi? According to what? According to some random ass source that we don't even know is true because they just pulled some information out of their ass. And it doesn't seem that there has been any education here.
It's like, I made tweets about this in the past. Kirsche is saying things like,
they're building like a 2.5 million pound mosque somewhere in like northern England that doesn't even have like a large Muslim population. And I was like, of course they are. Yeah, of course they are. I get...
Why the hell... Okay, if they are, then why would you need a large-ass mosque then for... if the population of Muslims is so small? How
increasingly angry. When I see people who are just like, well, they're not doing anything illegal, so like you can't really be mad at them. It's like this is very clearly a hostile takeover. Like, we're experiencing it in the US via illegal immigration. They're experiencing it in the UK via...
How is this bigoted? How is this white supremacist Islamophobic? Isn't this just all facts? It is a fact. There's a takeover of Islam in Europe, of this shit ideology that came from Muhammad, a man who came 600 years later. Are you seriously going to tell me that she's a bigot? Okay? Because of her saying stuff that's pretty obvious.
Like the migrant crisis nonsense and refugees, which, potato, basically the same thing. And it's like, our politicians are assisting these people with both demographic replacement as well as just making citizen lives worse in general.
She's a white supremacist.
They're changing the entire...
She is against illegals coming into our country. So because she disagrees, because she's against criminals, that means she's a white supremacist. That's your logic. Okay?
Culture of these countries. It might not
is
be...
that your logic, Miss Niara?
A hostile takeover like you see in war. There's no guns and battleships and bombs, but it is still a hostile takeover. It is still going to change these countries irreparably in the future.
That's the Great Replacement Theory, which is a debunked conspiracy theory from the far right.
What the fuck? What is this? What?
Then we have video.
Is this not true? Is there no Islamic takeover of Europe? In 2030, there will be 6 million Muslims living in Europe. We are witnessing the process of the Islamization of Europe, including Belgium, France, Germany, and Sweden. Muslims are living in closed communities, mainly in the suburbs of cities, which are de facto not subject to the law of the land. In these communities, Sharia law applies, and families living there pay Islamic taxes in accordance with Sharia law. According to a report by France Directorate General for Internal Security, DGSI, commissioned by former French Minister of the Interior Christophe Castaner, as many as 150 urban districts are controlled by Islamic fundamentalists. In France, the police have virtually no access to these districts, and they must be protected by the French army if they wish to enter no-go zone. Mosques financed by Islamic countries are the backdrop for Muslims' lives in Europe. In Muslim-controlled districts and micro-territories, there's discrimination against girls in public schools, and children and young people are subjected to Islamic indoctrination. Quranic schools are financed mainly by the rich Gulf states. This is coming from the EU, guys. This was 2020, guys. This came from the EU, and yet Kirsche is a white supremacist for saying what she's saying. Mind you, I got my information from the fucking parliamentary questions of Europe. I got this from EU, Niara. Okay, so it is happening. Okay.
It was like centrist video Kitsunero. None of what Kirsche said in this clip is white supremacy. Kirsche 2 years ago wasn't allowed to co-panel at Offguy, which she's still mad about, and also started a lot of, harassment.
Oh my. In the US, we have LGBTQIP2SAA. Oh, fucking. How long are they going to expand the abbreviation until there's no room to text it?
Campaigns against staff, saying they are racist against white people who just share their opinion. I know there's also a tweet of Kirsche where she quoted Sam Hyde, and that's kind of insane. Go to notice that YouTube.
Someone means that you're a Nazi. Definitely, that means you're a Nazi, and that means you agree with them 100%.
Standing up for fruit farmers.
What the fuck?
Kirsche responds to Washington Post. Battle to banish the world's most notorious stalker website. Is that about kiwi farms? Protecting kiwi farms? Is that what it is? Oh god. Of course you're pro-doxing and harassment of...
How is she pro-doxing? What the fuck do you... But I just want to make this video. It may not be a huge improvement to my last video on Kirsche, but I did want to make this video regardless, guys, because I believe in the truth, and I know that I could be prideful at times, guys. A lot of us can, but I believe in speaking the truth. I was at mass today, guys. I heard the story of the apostles Peter and Paul. They had incredible faith in Jesus, that he was the Christ, that they were willing, to die for him, and because they knew what the truth was, that, and not belief, they knew what the truth was. They knew the truth that Jesus is the Messiah, that he was God sent in the flesh. And I think that's a strong thing to take away here, is that when Jesus told us to speak the truth, and particularly for us Christians, he didn't just mean the gospel. Of course, the gospel is the main center of it all, but it's in that we speak truth, no matter what it's about. VTubers, internet, and I know I'm not perfect. No one is. I could be a hypocrite, and I can be prideful and arrogant, but I think it's really important that people, more people speak on what matters, what is true, instead of just lying and trying to smear people for personal gain, because that's not gonna help anyone at the end of the day. But yeah, anyways, guys, with that, I hope you all have a blessed Sunday, guys. As you know, it's the Lord's Day. If anyone there is Catholic, even if you don't, even if you're not Christian, I hope you still have a blessed Sunday, guys.